Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody remember me saying that? You sure you remember me saying that? You remember me standing here and praying? You remember me saying that? I think we can start to look around and see those things taking place. But he kept taking me back to the prodigal son. And I want to go there. I want to go to Luke 15. Luke chapter 15, beginning with verse 11. Now Jesus is talking about the lost. And he begins with talking about the sheep, and then he goes into talking about the coin. And this is number 3 of the trilogy of his parables. And he's talking about the prodigal son here. He says in verse 11, he says, "And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of good that falls to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father's have bread enough to spare? And I perish with hunger. Verse 18, he said, I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no more worthy to be called your son. He said, Make me as one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father, and when he was yet great way off, his father saw him, and he had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto his father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and I am no worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring forth the best robe, put it on him, put a ring on his hands, and shoes on his feet, and bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let's eat and be merry. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found. And they began to be married. Now, a couple months ago, I said that I believe that this was the year of the prodigal son. Now, all your children may be fine. All your children may be saved, and they may be walking the straight and narrow. But you may have a spouse that's not. You may have a grandchild that's not. You may have a mother, a father, a grandparent that's not. And as I began reading this, I got to thinking. I said, Lord, what is this all about? What is the prodigal son all about? I've read the story 1,000 times. Maybe 100 times. Maybe 20 times. We've all read it several times. And what we get out of it is that God is forgiving. No matter how far off you are, God is forgiving. But there's something else to be taken from this. Ephesians 5:1. Ephesians 5:1, I'll read it. It said, Follow God's examples, therefore, as dearly loved children. Follow God's example, therefore, as dearly loved children. There's other, I think the NIV version says, follow God's example, or be an imitator of God. What it says. It says, be an imitator. To follow somebody's example is to imitate or to walk the way they're walking. Right? Amen. As a father, your children are going to imitate you. Right. Now, at the age of 4 years old, my son believes and thinks that I know everything. He does. Yeah. When they get about 9, 10, 11, and 12 years old, they begin to doubt how much you actually know. And when they get about 16, you're dumb as a box of rocks. And it's probably 30 years later before they realize that, hey, my daddy does know a lot. There's a long stretch there that you're a box of rocks. But your child, even in that place where they don't think you know anything, are watching everything that you do. They're watching the way you walk. They're listening to the things you say. Oh my goodness, my son hears everything I say now. Everything I say. And everything everybody else says. Your children are imitating things of this world. They're watching the things that go on, and they're imitating the things of this world. And in this the parable here of the prodigal son, this second son, this youngest son, decides he doesn't want to be under his father's authority anymore. He wants to go and do his own thing. If my child came to me and said, I want a third of everything I want a third of everything you got, or I want a half of everything you got, or I want what's mine, I don't know that I would give that to him. I don't know that would be the time to give that to him. You know what the book of Deuteronomy says about a child becoming rebellious, don't you?
Yes.
When it gets to a place that we can't handle him anymore, we just eventually just turn him over. Okay. As I heard somebody say one time, sometimes you got to give a person enough rope to hang themselves. I've done all I can do. I've said all I can say. And I have to believe this father was at that place. It's hard for me to believe that this boy was walking the straight and narrow and just up one day said, hey, I want what's mine so I can... I'm not reading anything. I'm just saying that if my child came to me, would I be able to just turn it? I mean, if he was walking the straight and narrow, would I just going to turn it all over to him? So I have to believe there had been some conflict at some point here. And this father says, gives him. He obliges him. He said, okay, here's what's yours. So he takes what he's got and he goes out and he blows it. Spends it all. But something happens in all of this. He gets to a place. He gets to a place in his life. 30 years later, he gets to that place where he realizes, wait a minute. Maybe Dad wasn't all that dumb. Maybe all this stuff he'd been telling me, maybe it's right. And he remembers something. He remembers that his father, how his father took care of those servants. he begins to realize, hey, my father's a pretty good guy. He's taking care of all these servants. And not only do these servants have what they need, but they got more than enough. And I'm sitting over here in this